special episode 93, Obi Wan Kenobi Episodes 1 and 2 premiere. Hello and welcome to this special episode of 5 to 1. 5 to 1 is usually all about the countdown from our panel of experts on a new topic each episode. But today we are featuring thoughts and feelings about the first two premiere episodes of Obi Wan Kenobi, new Disney Plus series featuring the amazing Ewan McGregor.
He gives me all sorts of feelings.
Oh man, he's like amazing. Yeah. Hayden Christensen. Original Anakin Skywalker.
He would be my
He'd
be my second father choice. If you weren't around, I want him to be my father.
You know what? If you weren't around, I'd want him to be my son.
They look pretty similar.
We do have a vibe, right?
He's older than you.
He is older than me, but better looking.
He looks great for his age.
He does.
He looks like he hasn't aged at all since...
Hayden, I cannot say the same. Hayden Christensen?
No, but you know what? He's playing like a burned up Vader, so it's cool.
I don't think he looks bad, though. I just think he looks older.
He looks normal. He doesn't look like celebrity.
Yeah.
Ewan McGregor looks amazing. And, I mean, you got to give him props. He nailed this. I mean, of course he would.
Yeah.
But he nailed it. Like,
I'm
even
sure
the non-voice
did so
parts.
much preparation. I heard he watched all of the Clone Wars again, stuff like that. So.
I mean, leading up to this, Jet showed me a video clip of Hayden and Ewan at some type of thing where they were being asked questions, and there was like a table where they slid their drink, whether it was strongly agree, disagree, strongly disagree. Mm-hmm. And it was so charming. They they get along like Obi-Wan and Anakin should, you know. It was just so good. It was so perfect. If you haven't seen that, look it up if you're interested, because it's well worth the watch. But this is going to be a special roundtable episode of
5 to
1.
Without our lists or countdown or any of our special segments. And I want to do these for every episode of Obi-Wan if you guys are down for it.
Yes, I'm down.
Okay. Good. It's been an amazing weekend, this last weekend of May in 2022. We've had a lot of pop culture stuff come out this weekend. Stranger Things, Top Gun Maverick, which we saw on Thursday, was really good.
Which is apparently Tom Cruise's highest grossing movie.
Opening weekend. 146 million.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that's like not MCU or Star Wars level, but it's close, and that's his biggest by far.
I like the MCU, but I hate like how many records they're breaking with their movies, because like a lot of them are the same. Like Black Panther made more movie than I think it was The Last Jedi.
It's for the kids.
It's crazy.
It's just because
Last Jedi sucked, but like still, I'd prefer Star Wars to make more money.
I'm with you, and TFA is still king. So.
Oh yeah. Wait, no.
Yeah.
Endgame, I think, made more money.
It had more opening weekend, but TFA made more.
That makes me happy.
Yeah, me too.
Makes me really happy.
And I love TFA.
Yeah.
But this has been a really fun weekend. I think we owe Top Gun Maverick its own recording.
Oh, absolutely.
Evan wanted to do one with us, but we got done with the movie so late.
Yeah, they got out of like one.
Yeah, we went and saw it on Thursday night with listener and you know, one of my lifelong best friends, Evan Worrell, and it was such a fun night. We haven't even started Stranger Things season 4, which is crazy. We just had so much stuff to do this weekend.
Already, yeah.
I heard it was amazing. Like, really good.
Yeah. I have too. I've heard good things about it.
I heard the episodes are like super long.
They're long.
They only get longer as the season goes on.
Yeah.
It's like a movie is what I heard.
We'll probably end up recording about those too. Maybe not every well, maybe if they're 2 hours each, we might do each episode. But I got to say, this Kenobi thing is like king for me right now as far as pop culture goes. I love Top Gun Maverick. It was great, but I can't stop thinking about Kenobi.
Yeah.
I'm going to rewatch the first two
better.
episodes. It is, yeah. And we got to focus on that for this episode because all that other stuff is great, but this is the most exciting. And do you guys hear the music I've been playing?
Yes.
I just changed songs, but that is the theme written for this show, for the Obi Wan Kenobi show, written by 90-year-old John Williams himself.
Jeez, what a legend!
I know, and it's derivative of what many people call the Force theme, which I know you guys have heard before. Okay. This is it here.
Probably the best theme.
Ooh, goosebumps every time.
So this initially, it wasn't called the Force theme. It was called Obi-Wan's theme.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and later was adopted to become more of like the Force.
He's introduced with it. I think.
He is, but like it's played so many times throughout the movies that it's not Obi-Wan's anymore. Mm-hmm. But like I still think of Obi-Wan when I hear it, and I like that John Williams used that to make the Obi Wan Kenobi theme. And this is, my favorite music in Star Wars. So pretty cool. And I don't know. I got a lot of thoughts about all of this, but we need to get introductions out of the way before we get into our discussion. I'm CK. I'm joined by my two Masters of the Force sons.
Cade Moore.
My 18-year-old. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Jet Moore.
My 15-year-old, and we are
5 to 1.
5 to 1. Cade, happy birthday. I love you.
When we started this podcast, how old were we?
Jet, you were 3, and Cade, no, I don't. it was like
4 for Jet.
I think it was in 2016. So Jet, you would have been like 9.
8 minus 15.
What? No, 16 minus 7 is when you were born. 9. You would have been 9.
That's what I said.
And so Cade would have been in 2015. You would have been like 11, turning. You were
You
probably
said
already
2016.
12.
Wow.
That's what I meant. 2016. So yeah, sorry, you would have been 12. Yeah, so it's been a really fun journey. I think we are running short on time, but I think with Kenobi kind of jump-starting this, I have one episode that's already been recorded that I haven't finished editing, Biggest Fears.
Same one from the last one?
Biggest Fears.
Yeah.
It's we just haven't published it yet. We get that published, we get these Obi Wan episodes going, we do Top Gun Maverick, we do Stranger Things, we can get to 100 before you go off to school.
Easy.
We're going to do it.
I hope so.
All right, well, let's do it. I don't have any of the other segments. We're not doing feedback. I'm not doing Jet's pun of the week and all that, unless you have one, perhaps.
No.
You think he has one for us?
No, he doesn't even when he's
been too
supposed to.
long.
Yeah. So let's just get right into it, all right? Special episode skips all the other stuff. All right, overall thoughts. Let's start with that. Before I go into the details, this episode came out on May 27th. A little bit of a bummer for me that it was not on May 25th like originally planned. May 25th, for those that don't know, is the true Star Wars Day, not May the 4th. It's May 25th because the original Star Wars movie, A New Hope, was released on May 25th, 1977. But I get why they did it. There was a big event going on at Star Wars Celebration in Anaheim, California, that coincided with the May 27th release.
Yeah.
So they kind of had the event go hand in hand with the release, and I wish we had been there because I've heard some clips from it. Sounds like it was amazing. Like the initial screening, like Ewan McGregor was there. Like
That's awesome.
And
That's
the
awesome. We need to
families.
go to another Star Wars convention.
We were Jet and I
need
were
to
just talking
cosplay.
about that. Yeah,
I got a job now. I can buy a full costume.
Okay, listen, Jet.
Oh yes, okay. I'm replaying Force Unleashed right now. Star Killer. A lot of the time, like when you're shaved, you look
like
like
Star
him.
Killer.
And
Yes,
You could get an amazing
that.
costume.
If you were a Star Wars character, you would 100% be Star Killer, bro. And I love.
Just way too OP for anybody.
And you know,
Yes.
Sam Witwer is not just Star Killer. He's also Darth Maul, and he can do a Palpatine impression. He's awesome.
Sam
he
Witwer
was
is
also
like,
in Fanboys.
was he?
Yeah,
I don't remember that.
he was one of the security guards.
Oh really?
When
Oh,
they got
okay.
into when they broke into
I didn't even know that.
Lucas Ranch, he was like the lead security guard. He like did a flip like out into
Really?
the yeah
Wait, that's Ray Park.
different guy.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
Darth. It's Darth Maul. It's the other Darth Maul.
Sam Witwer is Star Killer. Galen Merrick.
Yeah, I know who Star Killer is.
That's not Ray Park.
That's not Ray Park.
No, Sam Witwer. He is okay. So this other podcast I listened to, or I used to listen to, I listened to it again for the first time after Kenobi because I was so excited.
I think you're getting confused. Sam Witwer voices Darth Maul in Clone
In
Wars.
Clone Wars, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But
Just
Sam
got
Witwer
Maul's
is
mixed up.
like, he's an actor and he's a good looking guy. He's a cool guy. He is maybe the most knowledgeable Star Wars fan I've ever heard speak on the subject. Partially because he knows everything, but partially because he's super smart and his opinions are so well put together.
And
I love listening to him.
Me and
talk
Dad
about
were just
Star
talking
Wars.
about this.
Does he have a podcast?
He's been featured on Rebel Force Radio a bunch of times as a
okay.
guest host.
Me and Dad were also talking about this. He isn't like a huge nerd too. He's like awesome. Like he's athletic and strong.
What's
So
wrong
he
with being
kinda-
a huge nerd?
Nothing.
But
he
he's
has
kind of like you. How you're kind of geeky with Star Wars and
Tall.
stuff, but you can do stuff like that.
Tall.
and Kyle Newman
not that tall.
is the director of Fanboys. And he is another guy who's a lot like Sam Witwer. They're just super big Star Wars fans, and they're really. But yeah, point being, you should cosplay Star Killer.
Okay, his
you could
costumes
nail that.
are also like the
They're cool.
coolest.
They're so cool, yeah.
Every outfit he has on each planet is so cool.
It's really cool. Yeah.
I would definitely want the one where he's got like spikes coming out of his knuckles.
Yeah.
and
Oh
he's
wait.
got,
Oh
like,
yes.
that mask on, or the one.
Nah, I think you should do one with the face, like because you look like him. I think you should. The default outfit in the first level. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do.
That's
It is pretty
sick.
cool, yeah.
You
Yeah.
should do that one.
Okay, so here's the plan then going forward. I will find out, or I will pay attention to when the next Star Wars celebration will be. Celebration is not like a normal convention. It is the convention. They've been in Anaheim a few times. I know they've been in Orlando before. They kind of rotate. We will go to the next one if we can. and you can cosplay.
You should, if someone like,
down. I'm gonna
you should
send
do
down.
like flips and stuff when people are looking.
Yeah, for real.
Too. Like,
you would get so much
100%.
attention.
Just
Yeah.
nail
I'd
it.
go viral for sure.
Yes.
I thought I had the Force today when I was working. I was carrying a bin outside full of dishes, and the AC was strong inside because it was hot outside. So I walk up to the door, about to go outside, and I just lifted my hand up to push it.
Yeah?
Didn't touch the door. Both of the doors swung open. Both of them. And the guy walking behind me was like, "Whoa, you have the Force?" And I was like, "Definitely." Did
Yes.
you just see that? Like, I just opened both doors without even trying.
Listen, I'm 41 and I still force open automatic doors at the
The
grocery store.
Walmart,
Yes,
yeah,
I'm
every
like,
time.
I did that with my hand. And I still try to turn red lights green as I'm driving using the force too.
I try to time those.
I'm using the force. Okay, so we'll do that. And all right, just overall, before we get into the details, did you love it? Did you hate it? Were you underwhelmed? Did it meet your expectations? Like, how did you feel? Just general overall opinion.
I loved it. I was already excited coming into it, and it lived up to it.
Yeah.
I mean,
I loved it. It met my expectations, but I already know that the episode, this is all like setup. We haven't even
Yeah.
got to the good stuff.
So-
Vader came at the end.
Yeah, I know you're excited for Vader.
But I'm more excited for Vader and Kenobi's interactions.
Sure.
But I love Vader.
So I kind of mirrored that. My level of excitement for this show coming into it is on par with my level for The Force Awakens,
Yeah.
which is way higher than it's been for other movies, including The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker and
Mando
Solo
and
and
Book of
Rogue
Boba
One.
Fett.
Mando Book of Boba Fett. I love them.
Boba Fett.
But this was way higher for me. And partially it's because of the character, but it's just also this part of the story is so intriguing to me.
And it's so
in between
emotional.
the two trilogies and my favorite character. Obi-Wan is my favorite non-droid character. R2 is my favorite character. Obi-Wan's my second favorite character.
Favorite living character.
Yeah. And it's just been off the charts excitement for me. And for me, it really delivered. Like Jet said, I felt like it was a lot of setup, but it didn't like sacrifice story and character stuff because it was set up. It still had that. And it managed to set up some really cool stuff we got coming. So
you should cosplay as Obi-Wan.
I could, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Dude, I could
do
pull
that
that
so
off.
easily.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying, bro. You should cosplay as Obi-Wan.
Yes.
I won't have anyone to cosplay as, though. I don't look like anybody from Star Wars.
Well, you could do somebody that has a mask, or you
An
could
alien?
dude, I could shave your head and put on horns, and you could be Maul.
Darth Maul.
Do the makeup. You could be Maul.
Maybe. I don't know.
It'd be easy to all black.
Darth-
I could also amputate your legs and buy you robot legs.
Darth Maul is pretty short, but like I'm shorter than Darth Maul.
I've always thought about if I ever lost my hand or my arm, I would get a replica of like Luke's hand
Or Vader's or something.
Raiders,
Yeah.
so something like.
Just do it.
Just
planning
all right.
on it.
So, what did you guys think of at the very beginning? We got a recap, like the previously seen was basically a recap of all of the prequel trilogy.
Yeah.
What did you think
It's
of that?
pretty cool.
was awesome.
It's unnecessary for us, but it's
Yeah.
cool for other viewers that haven't seen them.
I still get hit so hard with the Obi-Wan and Anakin fight.
Exactly.
It's still
That's
so
like the
sad.
saddest scene.
And then what's it called? When he realized that Anakin was, Vader in the
Yeah.
show. It was so sad. Like the look on his face.
It
like,
was. Let's save that because I want to get into that discussion some more in a little bit. But yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I think that recap, you're right, totally unnecessary for us. But I bet you there were some parents that have little kids that are like, I'm glad they did this because my kid is 7 and he doesn't have these movies memorized like I do. One thing I thought about afterwards is that, well, actually, I'm going to save that discussion because the prequels are getting love now, and I want to talk about that in a little bit, but we'll get there.
They started getting a lot more love as soon as the sequels.
The
dropped.
sequels, yeah, I know.
Everyone switched up so quick when The Last Jedi came out. They're like, oh, the prequels are so amazing.
Let's just
and
go ahead and
so
talk about
good.
it now. Yeah, like because I've always been a prequel lover, even when they were getting shit on by the majority, not the majority, but some very
here.
loud
If we're
fans.
being honest, they have problems. Like,
Sure.
For sure. But I think they do enough good, even great, for them to be good movies, especially Revenge of the Sith.
Especially kids my age too. They
Yeah.
love the prequels.
Well, a couple things have happened. One, the sequel trilogy came out, and it's getting the hate now, so it's taken some pressure off of the prequels. And the other thing is, the kids that grew up with the prequel trilogy as their trilogy are adults now, and they have good memories of it.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a little bit of that like boomer mentality when people think my stuff was the best. The OT fans, I'm an OT fan. Okay, OT is the best, and this other stuff sucks.
I'm more of a prequel fan because I grew up watching Revenge of the Sith way more
You did,
than
yeah.
and Phantom Menace when I was younger because
Yeah.
of Maul. But I grew up watching those movies way more than the original trilogy.
Right.
I still think to this day, even if like the content is as good. The prequel era is by far the coolest, and you can do the most with the prequel.
There's a
era.
lot-
Definitely explored.
A lot to mine there.
The thing, original trilogy is really good, but the problem with its era, it's so sad and
Yeah.
like not. It's like so bleak and sad
Yeah.
because the Empire's taken over. The prequel is like Star Wars at its prime.
Well, one thing about the prequel love that's being displayed right now that I really am happy about. One, I just like that people appreciate them more finally. But two, Hayden Christensen, who has been really shit on a lot for his portrayal of Anakin, especially in Attack of the Clones.
rolling
Not
in
so
the
much
grass
revenge,
and
yeah,
stuff.
all that stuff. Which some of it was
Floating
performance,
fruit.
Some of it was his performance. Some of it was the dialogue wasn't good.
Yeah,
but
it wasn't his fault. A lot of it.
Yeah.
But he's getting a lot of love now, and he's getting a very warm and welcome reception.
I don't think Brad Pitt could make saying "I hate sand" like
Yeah.
good.
That wasn't his fault.
That's just
But
horrible.
he's getting a lot of love now, and he's been vocal about it. He's like, this feels really good to finally feel accepted by the community. Him and Ewan on stage, like, just get standing ovations. Ewan was always great, okay? But
Yeah, everyone loves Obi Wan.
I'm really glad that Hayden Christensen is getting some of that love now. I think it's
That's-
earned.
I think the show is just good overall for Star Wars
Yeah.
content in general because the people your age that grew up with the original trilogy
Bec-
and then got excited for the prequels when they came out because 20-year difference.
Because
There's
ha-
a big difference.
Not a
you
lo-
guys are enjoying the Obi-Wan content, and then the kids like me who grew up with the prequels are getting more prequel content pretty
Yeah.
much, and then it's just good overall for everybody.
The thing is, Clone Wars fixed almost every issue with Anakin. Like, he's perfect in that show. But
Clone
a
Wars-
lot of people haven't seen Clone Wars.
Yeah, Clone Wars is the animated series that for our listeners.
And
that a lot of
Anakin
people
is the
haven't seen.
best character in Clone Wars, in my opinion.
Ahsoka.
Yeah, Ahsoka carries.
Yeah. But I'm talking from the movies, because Obi-Wan
Okay.
was already amazing in Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
Anakin was good in Revenge of the Sith, but in Clone Wars, he's perfect.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
they fixed every issue with him. But, like, barely anyone has seen it, I feel like,
Yeah.
today.
True.
What do you guys think of Ewan's performance?
I think he
acting-wise?
nailed it. And I already love the guy as an actor. I think he's super talented. But there were moments in these episodes where he wasn't even speaking, and like the one you mentioned when he hears
It really
Anakin
got to
Vader,
me. It was so.
it just his facial
The
expression.
PTSD, is that
the
what he's
P-
talking about?
No. When Reva, the
Oh, yeah,
Inquisitor,
yeah.
says Anakin Vader, which we'll get to because that's going to be a big discussion point for this episode.
But the PTSD scene was great, too.
It was, but even the scenes like, okay, so Obi-Wan is a meat packer, right? He's like, this is his day job. And there's a scene where it's kind of his first call to becoming a Jedi again that he declines. He turns it down. But the boss is like a big dude and he's like beating up one of the employees. And Obi-Wan looks at him like, man, I could you up right now if I wanted to. But he doesn't. But in that moment, like his facial expressions and the way he carried, like, and then he comes back and he goes back into his like sunken form of himself. Just nailed.
I
all
also
of it.
think they nailed his, I don't know how to say it, his cleverness or like his intellect. Because that one scene where he's fighting Flea and his men, he beats up some guys in the hallway. I think there were
Yeah.
some workers, but he couldn't use the Force. He still got hands.
Man,
though.
he's got hands. He can fight.
He can punch hard,
But
he can
then,
uppercut,
and
knock
then
that
we
guy
get
out
to
first hit.
we get to a scene where he's pinned down. We think he's gonna get captured or get lost, and then he has this moment where he puts a mask on and he throws the spice, the drugs,
Yeah.
and he walks away. And that's Obi-Wan. Like that's how he's like Tony Stark. He can
Yeah.
just think on the go
He's
and
clever.
he can get away.
Yeah.
I like that scene with the spice and stuff like that.
That was
I was
cool.
hoping it'd be death sticks.
I read somewhere or heard somewhere that the actress
probably
that
had
gave him the
death sticks.
spice is maybe, I think it's like his daughter in real life, Ewan's daughter, something like that. I'm not sure if that's
That girl
accurate.
probably had death sticks too. He could have asked for death stick and she would have had it.
Yeah. Cool of her to give him a sample. Ended up saving maybe his life. I don't know. I mean, he would have found another way, but it was cool. All right, so we open up, and the first scene is an attack on the Jedi Temple. It's Order 66. We see some Padawans there, or younglings.
Potentially Reva.
Reva. I kind of wanted to see Grogu.
No, I don't.
awesome.
I think that'd be unnecessary.
Maybe just like even in the background as a 1 second thing that you missed.
He just flies across the top of the screen.
Yeah.
If he had,
You barely see him.
If he had like a 5-second scene of them showing him, people would definitely complain. on
Yeah,
the
no, I
internet.
don't want anything egregious like that.
Yeah.
But I thought he's supposedly he's there, so
He
it would have
is.
been cool. Reva is the Inquisitor that gets the most time, right? In of the Inquisitors, she's probably a Padawan there. We don't. That's not confirmed, but I think most people believe that. But it was a cool scene. I liked seeing the attack. It would have been cool to see Anakin or Grogu for a second there too, but we still have time to see that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay,
more
so
episodes.
Maybe we can see Anakin murdering the younglings on screen.
probably not.
Like a robot chicken.
Yeah, they turn into flowers. Obi-Wan is a broken man when we get to him. We see him, like I said, turn down the call to action. He saves little bits of meat for his EOP, his like pet or whatever. He lives a simple life. His ride home, yeah. He's watching Luke from afar, so we know he's doing his job there. He got a toy for Luke. He's like a little bit like Santa Claus. That same toy, Jet caught this when we were watching it. I definitely didn't notice it, but that toy is the same toy that Luke has in A New Hope. It's called a T-16 Skyhopper.
I didn't know it was called that, but I knew I remembered him like flying that around.
Yeah, that was a really good catch by you, Jet. So that
looks kind of like a Vader's ship.
It does a little bit with the wings, like
kind of go down to like the triangle.
Yeah.
Okay, think about this though. Obi-Wan, I think this show takes place. How much?
10 years.
10 years. 10 years. Obi-Wan thought he fought his best friend, cut his legs off, watched him burn,
and died.
And his last words to Obi-Wan were, "I hate you," and he had to live with that for 10 years, thinking he killed him.
Yeah,
like that. That's so messed up.
We see a lot of that, like impact the way Obi-Wan is now. Like he is broken. He's having PTSD. I really liked the part when Bail Organa came to visit him in the cave and said, dude, let go of the past. Like, you are here protecting Luke, but that's not why you're not willing to help me. You're not willing to help me because you were still you're still concerned about your failure with Anakin. You are hiding from the past.
Like, you trained his father, is what he said.
No. That wasn't Bail Organa. That was Uncle Owen. I'm talking about Bail Organa.
You're talking about
Bail Organa. Trying to convince him to.
Yeah, he was trying to convince him to go save Leia. And he's like, man, you're hiding from your past right now. Like, you're not. Don't give me this excuse that you have to be here for Luke. That's not why you're staying here. You're staying here because you're running from your past. He's a broken man. So we see a lot of that. And I think it like you said, Jed, his last interaction with his brother, his best friend, was horrible. You know, he has to live with that. All right. So we get our look at the Inquisitors. And for those who are not deeply immersed in Star Wars lore like we are, the Inquisitors have already been established in prior Star Wars. Okay.
You good?
Mm-hmm.
And a TV show called Rebels, an animated show. And it was cool seeing them brought to, live action.
People were making fun of how we thought was the main Inquisitor, how he looked. I think they did great.
I think he looks good. It's just...
The Grand Inquisitor.
The problem with bringing these animated characters to live action, they can't, they don't look how they did in the...
Yeah, he had like a really long, big head.
Skinny
but
head,
people
yeah.
want the accuracy. I think Cad Bane looked better in live action than he did in the Clone Wars. But,
I thought so too. I thought the Grand Inquisitor looked
people
fine.
complained. Some people complained about the way he looked, but Cad Bane looked awesome.
He did.
He looked really good.
So let's talk about the Grand Inquisitor. Everybody assumes it's the same one that we saw in Rebels because it's the same species and they have the same title. The Grand Inquisitor
I really
is a
think
title.
they are the
gotta be
same
the same.
person. Yeah.
Yes, I mean when they first showed screenshots of him and he didn't look exactly the same he didn't have the elongated head. My thought was maybe it's not the same guy. This is a different time period. Maybe it's a similar looking guy.
Did we ever? I never finished Rebels. Like, what happened?
He dies in the first season. He dies in the first season of Rebels at the very end, and that was my first thought. But
he has an awesome death, by the way.
He does have an awesome death, but it's probably the same guy. But then he gets stabbed in the stomach by another Inquisitor, Reva. So maybe it's not the same guy.
But I didn't watch a lot of Rebels, but out of the original characters, so not including Maul and Ahsoka and Vader, like out of Kanan, Ezra, and the Grand Inquisitor was by far the best. And then it was Kanan.
He was awesome. He was a really great villain in that first season.
Yeah. And he had an awesome death.
But if he's not dead, if he comes back, he survives this stab in the stomach from Reva, then okay, I'm going to be convinced at that point it's the same character.
I mean,
if he dies, it's not the same character, and I'm fine with that.
Star Wars characters.
That's a valid argument.
Star Wars characters don't die easily. Like Darth Maul survived with getting cut in half.
Everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
People are saying Mace Windu's still alive. I see it all the time.
Why couldn't Qui-Gon survive that same wound then? If the Grand Inquisitor survives it, because he got stabbed through the stomach too.
Well, he's a different species. His organs might be in a different area.
That's true.
Yeah. Plus, there was nobody readily available to help Qui-Gon. Maybe the other Inquisitors came in and picked him up.
Maybe
and
it's
took him
like
to
a sword.
Monterey,
I feel like
we saw in Boba Fett.
When Maul stabbed Qui-Gon, he did it hard. He was like, and I think when Reva stabbed him, she was like.
But it's a lightsaber. It doesn't matter. It went through his body.
But like Maul was like really pushing it.
You don't get any more force out of it.
I think you do. I think you do.
All right. So what did you guys think about Reva?
Yeah, she's all right.
She's obviously pretty annoying and mean.
I don't think she's gonna be the main villain.
Oh no, it's gonna be Vader.
I think her story's gonna be short-lived.
I don't know. I think she's going to be the main villain.
She's gonna have a lot of importance to the story. She obviously has some connection with Obi-Wan, some hatred for him. But I think the creators definitely want to give the fans like some Vader love. There's been a lot of talk. They already showed him in episode 2. Like it's not like he's going to be a small part of the story.
Vader is going to be part of the story, but I don't think we're going to get a lot of time with him. I think we'll get a lot more.
I think
we're
going to get a whole episode with him. I think that's definitely a probability.
Maybe.
And I hope so.
I think Reva is going to be the most controversial character for a couple of reasons. One,
bringing a heroine into a Star Wars.
There's
always complaints.
There's always fans that say she's a Mary Sue, which is dumb. It's really dumb. They said the same thing about Rey. They said the same thing about Ahsoka. Like, get over it. There's a female character that's powerful.
Rey is kind of
big deal. She's not.
She beat Palpatine, dude. She should not be able to.
Okay, we're not going to go into that discussion here because it could take an hour. That's not Palpatine.
Ahsoka has perfect power balance. She was trained by Anakin, so she's obviously really capable.
Listen, we don't even have to defend them. I'm on your side that they are capable characters. I just think there's going to be part of fandom that automatically is like, oh great, here we go. Here's the agenda.
I love Rey.
Shut up. Like, just enjoy the story.
I love Rey.
Why does it matter if she's female or male?
Rey's character should have been more focused on her and Kylo Ren, in my opinion. And it was in The Last Jedi and The Force Awakens. But to bring Palpatine back was just a misstep.
Yes, but we're not going to get into that here. Not even part of this.
I think we've already had this discussion on the show.
Yeah. But I think there's part of it is because she's female. Part of it is because her character has already been given a lot of screen time, like as much as Obi-Wan maybe, like close to it, and we don't know who she is. So there's going to be people that complain about that. And on top of that, the reveal that she knows Anakin is Vader.
That's the only complaint I really have. I don't know if it's a complaint yet. That's just one, like, how does she know?
So
if Vader finds out, he's going to kill her.
Supposedly, we've always been led to believe, as Star Wars fans that are into the lore, nobody knows Anakin and Vader are the same person except for Palpatine and Tarkin. And then, of course, Yoda and Obi-Wan know because
they trained him.
They know who he is. We've always wondered, like, we've always been left to speculate, I guess, when did Obi-Wan find out? Now we know. Like, he found out in this episode.
Well, he knew that Anakin was Vader. He found out that he was alive.
I've thought about this a lot because you said that.
It happens in Revenge of the Sith. He sees a little...
There's a problem with that, though, continuity-wise. Unless Obi-Wan... How could Obi-Wan exist in this galaxy for 10 years and not know Vader was still alive?
That is a problem. But however, he's on a very deserted planet and he's cut off like all communications and stuff like that.
I guess if you believe he was really, really, really a hermit, he only focused on Luke.
That's the only explanation because, and literally in Revenge of the Sith, he sees Palpatine telling Anakin, "You will now be known as Darth Vader," so that he knows Anakin is Vader.
Yeah,
he just didn't know he was alive. That's the big reveal that, oh my gosh, he's alive.
Yeah. So he discovers that Anakin / Vader is still alive in that moment. You see that look on his face, right?
And then it cuts to Vader.
But there's that moment when it's his realization. That could have, like, some people have speculated. I don't buy into this, but that moment could have been when Reva discovered that Anakin and Vader are the same person, because he let his guard down and she sensed it.
Oh, maybe, but that could be a possibility. But I don't know if she's like that strong in the Force.
See, I think it's more likely that Reva knows who Anakin is because she was a youngling at the temple when Anakin went there and killed a bunch of younglings and Padawans. She saw him. She knows Anakin. Everybody knew Anakin.
If Obi-Wan,
chosen one.
Yeah.
If Obi-Wan stops holding back and he gets his connection with the Force and he has his lightsaber, he could beat all the Inquisitors at once. If we're being honest now.
Agreed.
Like pretty easily too.
But okay, why do you think she hates Obi-Wan so much? Why is she so driven to capturing Obi-Wan?
I don't know if they give any evidence for us to assume that. Like, I don't even know. Like, I'd never heard of her character before.
Well, but during the episodes, the other Inquisitors were on a mission to find Nari, this other Jedi.
She wanted Obi-Wan.
She was like, "This is beneath us. We should be going after Obi-Wan." They were like, "Stop focusing on Obi-Wan. Let it go." Like,
it's
this
one
is
of the
our job.
two things she has. She wants the reputation to Vader. She wants to kill him and become like his right hand man or something. Maybe the Grand Inquisitor, or she has some connection with Obi-Wan. Something happened.
So
it's
yes.
one of those two.
So
Maybe both.
It could be that Anakin took her under his wing and she really idolizes him or something. When I say Anakin, I mean
his
Vader.
focus is Obi-Wan.
And yes, and so she wants to gain favor with him, or maybe she feels betrayed by Obi-Wan and the other remaining Jedi in a sense, but especially Obi-Wan, because nobody came to save her at the temple. Maybe
And she was ranting about how they don't help you.
yeah, exactly. So I think maybe she holds a grudge against Obi-Wan because of that, and maybe that explains why she's so hell-bent on finding him. But I don't know. I think she could be a very good character depending on how they build that backstory. I also think there's some danger there that fans are just always going to hate Reva.
Yeah, exactly.
So we'll have to see how that plays out. All right. Young Leia. We get introduced to young Leia on Alderaan. Were you guys surprised that Leia was in the show?
Yeah, a little bit. She popped up out of nowhere, and I was like, but her character
I
was
was
funny.
surprised when they took
I like her character.
her cloak off. I'm like, that's not Leia.
Yeah.
When it was some random girl.
A little bit of Padme there. Padme had did the same thing with a decoy, right?
Oh yeah, and Phantom Menace.
Yeah. So, or no, in Attack of the Clones.
Or the senator.
Or both, I get both of them. Because
Yeah.
the ship that got blown up in Attack of the Clones wasn't
Oh yeah.
Padme. Yeah.
She was there though.
Not the one that got blown up.
And the opening scene of Attack of the Clones. Oh wait, no, you're right. But
Yeah.
in Phantom Menace, what's it called?
They had the fake
Who's the white
Queen
lady?
Amidala.
Like the really white lady.
Amidala.
Yeah, that wasn't her. That was
Yeah.
someone else.
So I was surprised. I didn't anticipate Leia being in the show at all, but I think it makes a lot of sense because if the show really focused on Obi-Wan and Luke having some sort of adventure together, their interaction later when he's like, oh, yeah, I know old Ben. I'll go visit him. It wouldn't have made sense if he's like, oh, yeah, let's go see Ben again. I had an adventure with him when I was 10. So I wanted stuff with Luke, but I get why they can't do it. Leia, though, it does make sense because she has some sort of connection with Obi-Wan. We see that in A New Hope when she reaches out to him for help. It's a little bit thrown off because her line in the movie is, you served with my father in the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Okay, but like, people do that. Like, maybe you don't remember me from 10 years ago, but you knew my father. Like, I can kind of buy into that. Plus, how about this? Maybe she never finds out Ben, the guy who's helping her right now, is Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
Right? Like, he's only been introduced as Ben. So, I don't know. But, Kate, you said you liked her character.
I did. She's funny.
Yeah,
And, like,
she's funny. I think it does.
She's got like the Force traits.
Yeah, and she does a good job of capturing Leia's like spirit. You know,
Not the chase scenes though.
kind of feisty. Yeah, the chase scene. We'll talk about that. Why did it bother you?
Because
You know why they didn't catch
I
her?
could literally I could catch her in like a second, dude. I could kick her like a football. Like I could punt it. I'm not trying to be like mean or whatever, but like anyone could. Like
I think that what bothered me about
It made more sense when they were on that planet that looked like Nar Shaddaa.
on
'cause,
Daiyu.
like,
I get that
Yeah.
she's going under things, but like there's a good 5 seconds when they're running after them.
She
and
has the Force. Like,
but she's
she's not
moving,
using it. She's
moving
just
so
running like a little
slow.
girl.
you don't know that. Dad talked about how when little kids run in a group with other little kids, they don't hit each other. What if that little kid trait paired with her Force traits makes her good at
Okay,
running?
I
away
was
from people?
running way faster than her at her age. She's running like this, bro. Like,
she really
come on.
was going very slow. It bothered me too. I liked how they made it. They were a little clever about it with her going like into small areas that the guys couldn't follow. But when she was just running, oh my gosh, it was so slow. Like, how did they not catch her? That bothered me a little bit.
Kenobi couldn't catch her for a little while too.
See, but that makes sense because of how how much traffic was in the area at the time.
I guess so.
That was easier to buy. Than
The forest one was not good though.
Yeah. So when Obi-Wan says that she reminds him of somebody that he used to know, I immediately thought Padme.
Goatee. Goatee? Somebody that you used to know?
Not Gautier, no.
Gautier. That's what
Immediately I thought Padme, of course. He's talking about Padme. But there are some people out there that thought maybe he was talking about Satine. But I think that's too obscure for most people.
What line are you even talking about?
When Obi-Wan says, you remind me of somebody that I used to know, to Leia. Young Leia. He says...
Oh, he's talking about Padme.
Yeah, he's talking about Padme.
Same, I thought the same. But there are people out there that are speculating it was Satine.
Well,
No, it's definitely
no, because
Padme.
what were he was describing
would
something about her that made her, what was that?
Like
thing
her
that he
mother.
was describing.
He didn't say like your mother. He just said you remind me of somebody that I used to
yeah,
know.
he didn't say that, but like, why would Satine remind?
She was
him?
also a leader and was also brave and clever and all that too.
I think it's more believable.
I think Padme
It's
makes a
definitely
lot more
Padme.
sense. Yeah.
Plus, like it's her daughter, and he knows that. So
Yeah,
like,
there's just not enough connective tissue for it to be Satine. Plus, hardly anybody knows who Satine is.
True.
I mean, she's a Clone Wars character. For those of you that don't
She
know,
got killed.
She was killed by Darth Maul. It was Obi-Wan's love interest that he abandoned to become a Jedi, basically. But there's still like a connection there. When
Maul
they see
killed
each
her
other.
bad. Like
did.
he killed her right in front of him. He
that
like
was-
choked her when he hit her a couple times, and then choked her
Yeah.
and stabbed her through the chest right in front of Obi-Wan. And Obi-Wan did not lose his cool.
Yeah, Obi-Wan is like
How can you not lose your cool after that?
because he's like a true Jedi, man.
true
He is
Jedi.
he is
If
like
I was a Jedi, bro, I would be going.
I'm sorry,
berserk.
but Obi-Wan is like the best Jedi.
He is 100%
Honestly.
like a Star Wars.
that's
True Jedi.
debatable.
Isn't that what it's called? True Jedi when you get 100% like a Star Wars.
and Lego Star Wars.
Qui-Gon
Yeah.
and Yoda would also react like Obi-Wan would in that situation.
Yes,
No,
but
not Yoda.
But I think Obi-Wan has other advantages over those guys
I
as
s-
a Jedi.
Yoda has probably seen so many people he's cared about die since he's so fucking old.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, that's
he would
true.
stay straight.
True. All right, so that's enough about young Leia. Anything else about young Leia?
No.
All right, Flea makes an appearance
I was really
from
happy
the Red
about
Hot
that.
Chili Peppers. How did you guys feel? You were happy about it?
Yeah,
I liked his character. Okay.
Smuggler, bounty hunter kind of thing.
It did bother me that it was Flea.
Did it take you out a little
Yeah,
bit?
I'm like, okay, it's cool, but like, why they choose Flea?
well,
credible.
Dude,
He's done
Flea
a lot of
is now
stuff.
in your two favorite franchises.
Yeah.
What else is he?
He's in Back
Red
to
Hot
the
Chili
Future.
Peppers.
Back to the Future.
When is he in Back to the Future?
He's Needles. He's one of the Biff's like crew.
That's Flea.
That's Flea. Yeah.
Damn.
He's also voiced a bunch of characters in
that
Rugrats.
mofo is old. How old is he?
He's in Back to the Future 2 and 3, but not the first one.
He's like kind of weird and creepy. I thought it was Creed from The Office when I first saw him. I was like, no way, Creed's in Star Wars now.
Yeah, that was cool. And his fight with Obi-Wan was kind of, we talked about it when Obi-Wan threw the spice and all that. It was kind of cool.
They were all like tripping balls when Reva came in.
Yeah, but what was weird is that it showed them like 5 minutes after when they were tripping, and they were completely fine. Like they must have taken that before or something.
They
mean,
were
look
like,
at
they
them.
were
Look at
totally
them.
out of it. They were like,
They were on the floor like,
yeah, they were talking nonsense.
And then after they contact him again.
Oh, it had time to wear off. At
Yeah,
that
who
point.
5
knows?
minutes.
We don't know the time.
Yeah.
A lot more time than that could have passed. I don't. All right, so let's go back to Obi-Wan for a minute because we talked about how his first call to action is when the boss at the meatpacking plant is mistreating one of the employees.
Oh, yeah.
He turns down the call to action to become a Jedi again at that point. He gets another call to action when he runs into the Jedi Nari, the one that the Inquisitors were hunting. He pleads for help, and Obi-Wan tells him, like, dude, go to the middle of the desert, bury your lightsaber, be a normal person.
First, he didn't even say he was Obi-Wan. He was just like, I'm Ben.
Yeah,
I
you're
don't know
mistaken.
who Obi-Wan is.
Yeah.
Stayed in character.
Turns it down again.
Obi-Wan and Ben, though, are pretty different characters, in
Yeah.
my opinion. But
Agreed.
they both share the same
I
quality.
think his name should have been Ben. Because you could spell Ben with Obi-Wan. You can't spell Ben with Obi-Wan.
Kenobi, though.
Oh, true.
Yeah. It's like combining Obi and Ken. Kind
Obi
of.
Ken?
You could have chose a completely different name.
Kobe! He could have been Kobe.
But
What's he
why
thinking?
did you choose Ben? He could have been like Xavier.
Old
or
Ben sounds
Zalek.
like Obi-Wan, that's why.
Yeah, but then that's too obvious. It's giving him attention. If I was him, I'd be named like Zalek. Like no one would think I was Obi-Wan.
Well, he went with Ben. Third call to action. The Inquisitors are threatening people on the street, and he's hiding, like back in a corner. And they even threaten Owen. Reva's like, I'm going to kill this dude and his family unless you guys tell me where they... And
Luke is his family.
and Ben just sits there like... Now, I
kinda freaking
I get
out.
why, but like, man.
I feel like if she killed Owen and she's like, all right, time to
would
go
jump
kill
in.
his family, then he would
He
have
would have
came
come
out.
out. Yeah, but they weren't even hunting Obi-Wan there. They were hunting Nari,
Nari.
R.I.P. Nari.
the other Jedi that they were
Oh,
there
yeah,
for.
yeah.
Yeah. Fourth call, Bail Organa calls him, turns him down. Fifth call, Bail Organa shows up in his cave. And this one kind of convinces him because he calls him out, right? He tells him, like, stop living in the past. So he comes out, and really what I think turned it was the sixth call when he sees Nari dead hanging in the street. He's like, all right, I got to do something. Like, I think he saw that, and he's like, it's my fault he's dead.
Yeah, I agree.
Rip Nari.
Rip Nari. But I'm glad all of that happened in the first episode because if it took 2-3 episodes for Obi-Wan to become a hero again, I think that would have been too long. So I'm glad it happened in the first episode. All right, but going back to Obi-Wan's cave, what did you guys think about hanging out there?
His cave?
Very
with
cave-like.
his Jawa and stuff?
Yeah.
Jawa was nice. I like seeing
It was
Jawa
a funny
content.
it was a funny scene.
I just liked being in, like, it would have taken too much time for an episode, but I could have, like, stayed in there another 10 minutes and seen stuff, and I would have been fine with that. Like
Another scene I like is when he goes and digs up Anakin and Obi-Wan's lightsaber.
That was my next point.
We heard recently, like why he did that is because he was burying Anakin and Obi-Wan. Like he was never going to become Obi-Wan again.
Yeah.
And Anakin, he thought he was dead, so that was their death when he buried that in
buried
the
the
sand.
lightsabers, and now we know that lightsaber, Anakin's lightsaber, has been buried twice in the Tatooine
Rey.
desert.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Been through
crazy.
a lot.
Yeah.
Who gets it next?
That's why Anakin's / Luke / Rey's
Come on, Jar Jar.
lightsaber is my favorite. It's been through it's been through the first Star Wars
But
all the way.
look-wise, like the look of the lightsaber.
Oh, I love the look of it too. I think it looks super iconic. I don't think it looks like any of the other lightsabers.
I still like Luke's green one the best, but I get what you're saying. That is the most iconic one, and it's in all of Star Wars.
Looks, I like Anakin's, Dooku's, and Mace Windu's the
like
most.
Ventress, Mare's Brood.
Yeah.
Okay, we're not going.
We're getting
we're not going into
Revan.
non-canon.
His lightsabers aren't that cool. But
Yeah,
they're
that's what
pretty
I'm
cool,
saying.
but, like,
Revan's lightsabers are surprisingly basic, like his red one. It isn't that cool.
But burying the lightsabers, like Jet said, is symbolic of Obi-Wan leaving behind Obi-Wan. He's not a Jedi anymore. He's really cut off his association with being a Jedi. He doesn't hunt himself by leaving a trail of compassion like the Grand Inquisitor spells out in the beginning when they're hunting Nari, until Bail calls him out, and he stops running from his past failure with Anakin and becomes Obi-Wan again. So also, as part of this, and Jet, you mentioned this before with the dreams, Obi-Wan tries at least once or twice to call out to Qui-Gon for guidance, which
But
I
he
thought
can't
was really
figure it
cool.
out yet. And I think the reason why is because he's so cut off with the Force. When Leia was... he hasn't used the Force in like 10 years, first of all. And Leia was falling, and when he's like using the Force, he
Yeah.
kind of struggled a bit.
Yeah.
Well, I think
It's like shaking off some rust.
that, and I think it's like he didn't want to use it yet. Like
He was hesitant.
yeah, but he did it.
Did you guys have any feeling that when Leia got to the ledge that she was gonna like force jump to the next one?
No.
I thought she was gonna die.
Okay.
No, I thought Obi-Wan was going to... I thought what happened was what I thought
No,
was
because
going to happen.
Leia doesn't really use the Force at all until Empire. Like I don't think she ever used it before that.
At least not knowingly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I thought it was all of that was really cool, including his PTSD dreams of Anakin. But one thing that I'm really speculating about now, are we going to see Obi-Wan learn how to communicate with Qui-Gon during this show?
I hope
Yeah.
so.
Force Ghost, Qui-Gon.
I don't know if we'll get a Force Ghost, but maybe he'll talk to him or something.
I
just
hope
say
we get
what's up.
another Force Ghost. It's been a while.
I love Qui-Gon.
I do too. I think it would be really cool if Liam Neeson was made an appearance, whether it's voice or Force Ghost or
Something
whatever.
that's interesting. We don't ever really see Anakin talk about Qui-Gon after Phantom Menace, but in the original Clone Wars, you might remember this, and there's a scene where Anakin's like mad at Obi-Wan because he has to do a lot, or like he's trying to spend time with Padme, and then he gets called by the Council.
Yeah.
And Obi-Wan's like scolding him, like you need to show up, like
Yeah.
you're about to be a Jedi Knight, because he's not yet. And then he's like, you're not as wise as Qui-Gon, and then like he immediately regrets it.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
Obi-Wan's like, I know, I miss him too, and I always like that because like I bet you Anakin misses Qui-Gon too,
I'm sure.
but
yeah.
we never get any hints of that.
Yeah, yeah. Now we get little bits of Qui-Gon after he dies of the Phantom Menace. We get little bits because you hear his voice when
In
Anakin
Force Awakens.
well, and in Attack of the Clones.
Oh yeah, he says Anakin no.
Anakin, no, yeah. So you get little hints of it. He was brought back again in the Clone Wars in the Yoda arc when he learns how to communicate with him. But I want something on screen like this where like Liam Neeson's back. I think it would be really cool. So I hope we get that. What about Obi-Wan's interaction with Tika, the Jawa?
I loved it. I
It's
love
fun.
Jawa content.
Me
It's,
too.
it's either I love Jawas or I hate them because sometimes they're just little shits that just always are trying to antagonize everyone. And Mando, it's funny. Mando really struggles to get his. Do y'all remember that? He's
Yeah.
like chasing after them,
Yeah.
and he starts vaporizing them, and that's when they get scared.
I love the part though when Tika tries to sell him something that he stole from
from him.
Obi-Wan, and he's like, "If
You
you're
could at
going
least
to
clean
sell,
it first."
yeah, if you're going to steal from me and sell it back to me, at least clean it." First.
And then the Jawa was
He's like,
like,
"That's
"It's
extra charge."
Yeah.
That was funny.
Yeah, it was
That was
funny.
really good. And then more interaction with
I want Jawas to take their hood off.
yeah, I
You
like
will
the
never see it.
mystery.
Yeah, you'll
What
never
would
see it.
what would they look like?
The most terrifying thing you've ever seen.
They're
in
just
your life.
floating yellow eyes.
Yeah.
That's it. There's something else under.
They use the Force to keep their hoods on.
I used to like Ewoks more than Jawas, but now I think I like
Nah,
Jawas.
Jawas
more.
have always been
Jawas,
top.
Jawas for me.
I don't hate Ewoks. I don't like how much they had to do with the plot, but I like them. I still think they're cute.
Same. And
I think they eat people.
they're cannibals.
Yeah, they definitely eat people.
They eat other Ewoks.
They eat other Ewoks.
No.
Well, they eat people too. They were about to cook the people.
They were about to cook
that,
people.
and they're banking on at the end. They're banking on troopers'
Helmets.
helmets, so they definitely ate those troopers too.
Yeah, they probably cooked them.
You know how much protein is probably in a full-grown male?
I'm sure a lot. All right, Uncle Owen and Ben get some good interaction too. Uncle Owen is portrayed by Joel Edgerton. He's the same guy that played Uncle Owen in the prequels.
He's in a movie called Warrior, which I think you should watch. I think you'd love it. It's like a MMA movie that's really good. He's the lead actor.
Yeah,
Him and Tom Hardy.
but I think that whole interaction with Ben and Uncle Owen was perfect. I think it made perfect sense with the characters that we know them to become.
Yeah.
Uncle Owen is like kind of a old curmudgeon, right? And he doesn't encourage Luke to go ever talk to Ben. Like all of that, we see the buildup of that here, and he kind of raked him over the coals a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Like you did his father.
Like you did his father. Yeah.
Low-key right, though, because if he knows what Anakin did, I mean, he killed so many people.
Yeah.
There's scenes of him going ham in Revenge of the Sith. He's killing those green people with the red eyes. You remember that?
The Neimoidians.
Yeah, he's just going off.
Yeah.
And he killed, like, a bunch of kids and a bunch of Jedi at the
Tusken
temple.
Raiders.
Yeah, he's done a lot. So
Yeah.
you can understand that.
Yeah, I thought that was really, really good, though. That might have been my favorite scene in the first two episodes, was their interaction. All right, some other things we saw. We saw a clone trooper on Daiyu. So Daiyu is the planet they go to. He goes to rescue Leia. We see a clone trooper sitting on the ground there. It's played by Tim Morrison. He's Jango Fett, right? And all of the clones. And Boba. That clone trooper on Daiyu was wearing 501st Legion armor.
So he probably did some pretty messed up stuff.
Yeah, that 501st is Anakin's crew, basically. So
I feel
that
bad
the
for
best
clones.
crew.
Yeah.
If you like, what I like about clones, they're not just like soldiers. Like they're not all the same people. Like they change their hair and stuff, and they all have different personalities.
Yeah.
That's what I like about them.
Dude, what if it's Captain Rex?
It's not
Just saying.
Captain Rex.
We need
It's
to
not
look at his
beard.
armor and compare it to the rest of the 501st.
And
like,
if you
who
see
it is.
Captain Rex in Rebels, he does not look that old. Like he looks older, but not that old. And Rebels takes place after Kenobi too.
Yeah.
The 501st arc in season 7 of Clone Wars. Do they have a 501st arc? Yeah, with Fives, right?
Fives, Echo. Do you remember Echo?
Yes,
And
so
Rex.
sad.
It's amazing. Rex is the best clone by far.
I wonder if we'll get that clone again. I mean, if it's Rex, we will. If it's not Rex, we probably won't.
Rex.
I got a question though.
Yeah.
So, Anakin, they think he will bring balance to the Force, right? When he's becoming a Jedi.
Yes.
Well, he ended up becoming a Sith.
Yeah.
Right. So, like, if he ended up becoming a Sith, and like, I don't know how fate works in the Star Wars universe, but like, if it was his fate to become a Sith, who was like the balancing part on the light side? Because it has to be equal, right?
It depends on how you define balance of the
Anakin-
Force. I've thought about this a lot.
Anakin, at the end of the day, is the chosen one through. First of all, it's confirmed in Clone Wars. Do you remember the Mortis arc? It has the father, and he's like super powerful. He tells them that if he didn't get injured, he would become the most powerful being in Star Wars because he is the chosen one. Second of all, he did bring balance to the Force. He killed Palpatine.
He did kill Palpatine in the end. So he
and he
did.
redeemed himself.
But the question is balance of the Force, does that mean that Sith and Jedi are equal?
That's what I would assume.
That's what balance means, but I don't think
What?
that's the intent of the prophecy. I think it means that the dark side power is gone.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Bringing it into balance that way. So either way, he accomplished it, right? So, yeah. But some other stuff we saw. Alderaan. What'd you guys think of Alderaan?
Very
Boring.
Alderaan-y.
Yeah.
So you guys, Alderaan for the
we
general
hate
population
Alderaan.
is the planet that gets blown up in A New Hope.
Good.
It's
not cool.
It is a planet in a video game that we played, Star Wars: The Old Republic, that is kind of boring to play on.
That's
So
not only it. It's just
Has the worst sounds out of any planet.
it's a boring planet. Like there's nothing cool on it.
I think it just looks too much like Earth.
It does. It's very Earth-like. I kind of like the scenes there, and I liked that we got to see it before it gets blown up. We also saw C-3PO on Alderaan. Did you guys catch that?
Yeah.
I did not see that.
It was in. They had guests there when their family came over and they were serving food and stuff. C-3PO was there walking around. What I didn't see until just now when I watched a video on YouTube is that R2 is also there.
Oh,
No
really?
way.
Serving
How
drinks.
did you miss that?
It was just so off to the side of the screen that I didn't see it when I watched it live, but I saw it tonight, and now I'm excited because I was going to have this big thing about where's R2.
He's been in everything, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like R2 has been in. He's been in Boba Fett, which
Yes.
I did not expect at all. I think he's been in every movie besides the spin-offs. Because he was in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9.
Yeah.
So it's like...
Yeah.
He's got to be in everything now.
Yeah, I mean, for me, R2 is Star Wars. But they were both there. They both made a cameo. I hope we get a little bit more of them. Maybe when Leia gets returned to Alderaan or something, that would be cool. We know she keeps them because she brings them on her mission that we see in A New Hope. They're on the ship with her.
They replaced Lola.
Yes, Lola. That was a cool little droid, though.
It was cool.
Oh,
Her little companion droid that she was playing with
yeah.
and stuff, and that Flea came in there and destroyed. Flea, what a flea bag. Okay, so this is a little bit out there, but somebody noticed this in a group that I'm in on Facebook. So when they're on Dayu, and there's that fake Jedi, the guy who's like
That was funny.
using the magnets and
Yeah.
and remotes and stuff to play a Jedi, and he is doing a good thing by helping people get off planet. He's just extorting them
Yeah.
by pretending to be a Jedi. So it's a little gray. But the kid that he helps escape, and when we first see him, he's helping a mom and a kid. The kid has shown Force sensitivity.
Yeah.
They say that in the show. That kid's name is never named in the show, but if you go to the IMDb page, it names the character. His name is Corran. Corran.
Who's that?
Corran Horn is a Force sensitive in the expanded universe.
So that's the thing about Star Wars.
Oh, yeah, I love how they're
there's
bringing
always some
more
character
guys
in the
in there.
background who has an insane backstory and
Yes.
all this lore, and we just see him for like a second.
He has a lot of story that happens much later in the timeline. If it is in fact the same guy, I don't know if they're setting that up or not. But if it is, this could be the first time we see him in canon, and he's a pretty popular character in the expanded universe. So a lot of people might really like that.
I think that's probably all we're gonna see of him.
In this show, maybe,
Yeah.
or and maybe in a future show that they're doing for Star Wars,
Also-
they flash back to the scene, and then you see him, and you're like, oh my gosh, that's Corran.
I told Dad this. I did not tell you. I saw on TikTok Star Wars is getting a show in Clone Wars animation style called Tales of the Jedi. It's gonna have young
I saw that.
young Count Dooku, Qui-Gon, Mace
Ahsoka.
Windu, all when they're young.
And Ahsoka.
And Ahsoka's like upbringing, yeah.
That'll be cool.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it's coming out next month.
And it
or
has
something.
Clone Wars
It's pretty soon.
animation. Like that's perfect.
Yeah.
I'm excited for Dooku because I've definitely come around on Dooku. Like in the Clone Wars and stuff, he's a badass. Like
Yeah.
he's powerful.
Yeah, I felt like the movies didn't really do him justice, but
And he's the only person who ever kicks Obi-Wan's ass like a lot.
yeah,
He has the light
Never
side and the
1v1
dark
though.
side.
No, debatable.
never 1v1. So another point in the show, Leia is like looking at ships that are taking off, and she mentions one being an Aquilian Ranger. I don't know if you guys heard that or noticed that. Another one she said was a Mursan pirate. Both of those are, again, deep cut references to expanded universe stuff.
Awesome.
The Aquilian Ranger one I thought was interesting because
What is this?
When she's sitting in the tree looking at the ships that are leaving all
Oh.
around.
yeah. The Aquilian Ranger in the very, very early original scripts of Star Wars, like the original A New Hope script, Luke had a brother named Deke. And Deke was an Aquilian Ranger. And Aquilian Rangers, it's like a military force that they were Force sensitive. They weren't like Jedi, but they could use the Force, and they had laser swords. And that is a callback to the original script of Star Wars. So I thought that was
that's
cool.
wild.
Mursan pirates were, and at one point, the Bria, Leia's mom, Bail's wife, says it's like raising a Glorag. Those are callbacks to very early comics and from 1977.
I don't know why,
awesome.
but
That's so cool.
did y'all see that Rick and Morty Gazorp episode? Where
Yeah.
the Glorag reminded me of a Gazorp for some reason.
But
That's pretty good analogy.
I watched a video. There are a lot of other callbacks to planets and characters that were like really old
Has
comics.
Corellia been in?
Yes, Corellia was in Solo.
It was okay.
When,
Yeah.
oh
I
yeah,
remember,
when he was Solo grew up there.
He grew up on Corellia, yeah, and it's mentioned in the main films too.
I actually
They
like
use-
Corellia in the movies. It's like the lowest of lows of
Yeah.
planets.
The-
Actually-
in the game it is too.
The planet we just saw might be the newest low.
Dayu. Dayu reminded me of Nar Shaddaa.
I did.
Yeah, but like worse.
Yeah,
It's like I'd say Las Vegas is Nar Shaddaa and like Reno
Yeah, it's Dayu. Yeah.
What is Reno?
Reno's like a smaller, seedier version.
is
of
that where
Las
your
Vegas.
tournament
hours
was?
away from Las Vegas.
Was his tournament in Reno?
Yeah.
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 They got a bunch of casinos and stuff there.
Did y'all
Too.
go
It's
to
just
one?
a lot more trashy and shitty than Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Is it fun though?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, we got to get to it though. Vader.
Oh yes.
Okay, I'll just let you guys talk about Vader, Jen, you especially.
I love Obi-Wan, and I like Darth Vader more. Let's if we're being honest, Darth Vader is like obviously one of the best Star Wars characters. To see him like do things just is amazing, and I feel like we haven't seen it in a long time. We did see it in Rogue One,
Which was badass.
yeah. He's going ham in that movie, but like he didn't have a lot of story moments. Like this
Yeah.
is the first time since Revenge of the Sith when we're seeing
And
Vader.
the exact kind of story you want is between him and Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
Exactly, and
his look.
there's been lots of talks. This is
Menacing.
Vader
Deadpool.
in his absolute prime. Like
I
Vader,
hope so.
Vader's gonna go crazier in this series than he did in Rogue One. That's
Okay.
what I'm saying.
I hope we get that. And okay, so here's what I was thinking about right before we started this episode. So we saw that Obi-Wan learned that Vader's alive. We saw the look on his face, okay? Reva is going to go back and tell Vader now,
I found Obi-Wan."
I saw Obi-Wan.
Oh yeah,
It's
I
going to
didn't think
kick him
about
into
that.
high gear. Like that's going to it's got to prompt something.
He's gonna
right?
be pissed.
Yeah.
like, mad.
I mean, he hasn't seen him since Obi-Wan cut off 3 of his limbs when he owned him in that fight.
well, I mean, come on now.
Hey.
I want to say owned because he was on the backside.
How many
for a lot of
limbs?
that
How many
fight.
limbs
This
did Obi-Wan lose?
conversation, I've heard y'all have this
Okay,
conversation for hours on
Who
end.
killed Obi-Wan though? Huh? Who killed
Nobody.
Obi-Wan?
Nobody.
Vader killed
Never
him.
even touched
That
the
was, that was a
lightsaber.
suicide.
It was,
Okay, it was a suicide, but Vader still killed him.
No.
He still delivered the blow.
No, he didn't even deliver
Yes,
the
he
blow.
did.
He
It
did.
didn't-
It touched the robe. Like,
Was his
barely.
robe cut in half?
No.
No, it was not. It was all in one piece. It didn't look like he'd even touched
It
the robe.
touched him.
His robe fell down. It was in one piece. The lightsaber never even touched
It's
him.
because Obi-Wan couldn't just do that on command. He couldn't just die and be out of existence.
Luke did it.
No, he didn't. Oh, I could see that. Got you there. Okay, but Obi-Wan's not powerful enough to do that. So Vader,
how do
he's
you
powerful
know?
enough to beat Vader.
If we're going
Not-
back to the
not-
balance of the
not
Force thing,
Sue
I feel like
Vader.
Obi-Wan was like, obviously Yoda is comparable to Palpatine when we're talking. If we're talking balance of the Force as in
Yeah.
equal powers,
Yeah.
they're
They're pretty
equal.
close.
Obi-Wan is equal with Vader. And
no,
then-
no,
Bro, that fight was very equal, and then Obi-Wan won.
we'll see.
that
We'll
fight
see.
is
We'll
just
see
hard to
how
tell.
equal
They're
it
like
is now.
they're like swinging sticks at each other in the original fight. Like there's
no, I'm
one-
talking about the Revenge of the Sith fight.
Revenge of the Sith. That's a different version of Vader, first of all, and
Man, you're just making excuses.
no, it is. It is. Vader in his suit is a very different fighter. He's not nearly as like arrogant because he knows he has to conserve his power because he's in
No, I
an
agree.
asthmatic robot suit.
There's difference. They are different characters in a sense.
How about this? If Vader and Obi-Wan fight in the series and Vader kicks his ass, I'm gonna rub it in your face.
If he loses anything less than 3 limbs, Obi-Wan still has the advantage.
That's stupid.
But man, I'm when we saw Vader, guy, first of all, he looked amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Like you only see him in the back to tank.
You
and
see his eyes.
guy, he looks so
Menacing.
scary.
Oh,
Yes.
Yes.
And he looked like big. Like
Mm-hmm.
he's been bulking.
I was thinking
with
if we get
no
a lot
limbs.
of Vader in the series, we can see things that we've never seen canon-wise. We can see him mourning Padme. We can see him go to her grave potentially. We can get flashbacks. We can get Clone Wars flashbacks of Anakin and Obi-Wan and maybe Ahsoka like all together.
Yeah,
I
I
really
mean, I hope we
that.
get a lot of that. For me, the ideal balance for this series would be a lot of introspection into Obi-Wan, which we're already getting, and a lot of introspection into Vader without them having a lot of interaction. They can't have a ton of interaction.
Not a ton.
Yeah,
Because
because there's going to be episodes about the chase. Obviously,
Yeah.
they're going to interact, but
Yeah.
I feel like it's
but I
going to be
want
They are
time
gonna interact
with
at
Vader
some point.
alone, like getting insight into him, so we can get some of what Jet's talking about.
Because he's just as big of a character as Kenobi.
He's bigger, but this is Kenobi's show.
Yes.
Are y'all excited for Kenobi's outfits? Did you see the different clothes he was wearing?
It's like homeless clothes, but it's fitting.
Yes, but like he stands out as a Jedi in a crowd.
That's
still.
what- yeah,
You can
he
like
had- he
tell
had-
like what his robes were.
He should have
before
like
they were,
black
tattered.
robes or something, or maybe he should like wear like a
I
futuristic
kind of
jacket
fucked with his
or
like
something.
knee-high boots in the prequels.
I don't know. For me, I just felt like the robe was something simple.
I think Anakin and Luke's Return of the Jedi robes are awesome. Those are.
Did they ever
I've always
say
been
where
my
that
favorite.
cargo ship was going?
I don't know.
Which ship?
The ship that left Dayu that Obi-Wan and Leia took at the end when they got away.
Oh, did they just take some random ship?
It was a cargo ship that
Yeah, not
that the fake
humans.
Jedi set them up on. Remember?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where it's going.
Imagine.
Yeah. What did you guys think about? Okay, so Leia gets away. She escapes from the Inquisitors. Nari, after they capture him, he escapes from the Inquisitors. Eventually gets caught, but escapes that time. And then Obi-Wan gets away kind of relatively easily too. It kind of makes the Inquisitors a little bit inept.
Same in Rebels. They get away all the time from them.
Yeah.
But I don't mind it so much because they're not as capable as Sith are. They're not nearly as capable, but they still are capable.
Yeah.
They're capable of holding their own, but they're not that powerful.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Obi-Wan from like Clone Wars could probably take on all three at once. Maul took on like two at once.
If he can take on Savage and Maul at
yeah.
once, then he can. When Savage didn't he have two sabers and then
No,
That was
Obi-Wan.
Palpatine.
Obi-Wan had two sabers.
yeah, Obi-Wan had two sabers against Maul
and was good. And
Savage.
he another
Which is an equal amount of
You know
blades.
what's funny? In that fight,
because Maul's has two blades.
I think he cuts
Exactly.
off.
So it's three
He
blades.
cuts off Savage's arm in that fight. Think of how many limbs Obi-Wan has taken. He took
Yeah.
Maul's once. He took
Vader's.
three of Vader's, and he took Savage's arm, and probably more that we
He
haven't
took off
even
the
seen.
limb of the Ponda Baba and Dr. Avazon.
Oh, we skipped over this. This shocked me. Reva's introduction, where she cuts off someone's hand. I'm like, damn, what did that lady do? She was
know.
not doing
Exactly.
It was
anything.
ruthless. Is that the part that Obi-Wan was watching too?
Yes.
And he like watched that lady get her hand cut off and didn't do anything.
Well, it was already cut off. Like it was so quick. She just like turned on her lightsaber.
Okay, but there's a bunch of other people there. They could have gotten limbs cut off too.
That's true.
Dooku also lost. So many Star Wars characters
She's
have
so
lost
quick
their
just
limbs.
to kill. Like she threw that like blade at the guy in the.
And she
Yeah.
killed the Inquisitor, in quotations.
Yeah. I mean, I think we're assuming he's still alive, but yeah. But yeah, that scene was brutal. She just cut off that lady's hand. Yeah.
Poor lady.
All right. Well, I mean, did you guys have anything else specific? Do you want to summarize your thoughts on?
I think I don't know, we covered a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think I'm really, really happy with these two episodes and the way that they set things up. But also, like we mentioned at the top of the show, they were more than just set up. They were really, really good on their own. So I'm very happy. I'm really excited about the rest. And I've been online and I've seen the feedback. And for once, well, I'll say the second time because Mando got a lot of praise too with Grogu. So it's the second time, I guess. It's like all positive. There, a few people are complaining about Reva. A few people.
And Leia.
And, I've seen most of the stuff I've seen for Leia has been very positive.
I've seen a few negative. I guess it's just the chase scenes, but overall she's been positive.
But like there was a poll in one of the groups I'm in that is typically pretty freaking negative. And it was like, what was your rating of the first two episodes? And there were 4 categories. And out of the 150 people that voted, like 95% of them, maybe even more than that, voted it was amazing. And I haven't seen that kind of positivity.
Except for Mando.
Yeah, but even more for this one, I think, in a long time. And that makes me really happy, too. And it mirrors how I felt about it. I was very, very happy with it.
Yeah, it makes me happy that this is good for
The Star Wars fan base is slowly becoming less toxic because
everyone's getting older.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, if that's, I mean, we're not going to do our other segments. I don't have any honorable mentions. I don't have the worst. We don't have listener choices or anything, or a fun fact of the week or a pun of the week. So we can wrap this up. I did forget to play a clip. I was going to play this like right at the beginning.
This is where the fun begins.
You should have.
I should have, but I didn't. I forgot. But thanks for everybody taking time to listen. We are going to do more of these episodes. Our next episode is either going to be about Top Gun Maverick, or it'll be about the next episode of Obi-Wan, or maybe even about Stranger Things. Yeah. I still have one that's I need to finish editing, so I'll probably do that tomorrow and get that one put out first before this episode of Obi-Wan comes out. But we've got some content coming. We're really sorry we've been gone for so long, but we love you guys. You can call us 469-607-521. That's 469-607-5861. Anything else, guys?
No.
Nope.
Product one, so it's guaranteed you can do you.